Hi, this is Jeff from Jeff's Garden Tip. It is July 20th, I believe, today. I had a great harvest today. I'll be posting the pictures on Instagram and uh, Facebook accounts I have. Little update. This is the butternut squash I put in like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. You see how big it is already. This over here is the pumpkins, and you can just see they're going just crazy. They're taking over the whole area. So once it cools down, I think they'll even go a little better. Just the purple peppers, bell peppers. I picked a bunch of these today and put them in a vegetable type of lasagna I cooked tonight for the family. This is yellow squash. There's one back down inside there that's growing. One left. You can see the peppers on here. These are hot peppers, and I probably cut 6 or 7 off here today earlier. This is bell peppers. I don't know if there's any left on here because picked most of them off here today. So I'm not sure if there's any more left on there. Yellow tomatoes, you can see right there, some left on here, but I picked a ton of those out of all the gardens today, so they're all in my harvest I took earlier. Strawberries are still growing. Of course, there's blueberries, raspberries, and blueberries are all kind of not prospering right now, only due to the fact that it's too hot for them right now. But the strawberries, which are, you can see in here, my grandson was here today, so I'm sure a lot of them are going. There was a ton of them in here are growing, and you can see the mint up there is growing. Pepper plants growing back in here, which I didn't even put a pepper plant in here, so that's kind of blowing me away. And some of the older lettuces are still there. It's kind of crazy, and he probably got most of the. There's a couple small ones back in there, a couple new ones starting. In the strawberry bucket, there's one right there, there's 2 right there. So there's quite a few of them in here, but they got to grow back up because I'm sure he really got into them today while he was here, eating them up and seeing how good they were. We're walking over to the other gardens now. I took a lot out of here today too. Cucumbers aren't looking that good. I found one good one, a couple there, but you know, we can kind of start here. You can see these tomatoes here. They're the ones that use in spaghetti sauce. Can't think of the name of them right now, but they're growing like crazy with potatoes underneath of them. You can see another huge spaghetti squash is growing there. Another one's in there, and you can see right down in there the yellows coming up. That is, of course, yellow squash. You can see the eggplants growing down in here. They're really still going. I picked 2 monsters out today. You can see these tomatoes here. These are the big boys. They're just amazing. I'll be posting some pictures of those tonight on my accounts too. This is yellow tomato bush. Some falling over, but we probably picked 80 to 100 of them over there today. And here's the watermelons. There's one down in there. I picked one off of this vine today because it was huge. And I thought it was just about ready, according to the way I read to get them with these tomatoes are growing up and down trellises. But you see one down in here. There's one down. There's 2 of them right there if you see them. And I took it off. We ate a little bit of it. It tasted pretty good, but it was a lot of green still in it, so it was wasn't fully ripe. But now I know, and I have to let these sit in there a while. I'm sure I got one more in there too. These are your average plum tomatoes. You can see a couple red, not plums. They were the ones in the other barrel I told you about. These are American style tomatoes. You can see them back in there. These I've already picked quite a few of these. These are early. Going well, of course, the cherry tomatoes, which we picked today earlier. Japanese, I didn't get any today because I cooked a bunch tonight, but they're still kicking. You can see them there, and they're growing pretty good. This is another yellow squash that I thought was pretty much done for the season, but you can see it's starting to grow out here again. So I expect more off there. It's another tomato bush. You can see they're a nice sized tomato bush, and you see these growing down in here. I picked a bunch off of that bush today. Another pepper plant, and you can see how down in there there's 1, 2, 4 or 5 bell peppers right down in there growing on that one. Let me see here. This is a bell, but I picked this one. I robbed that one. Little wasted cucumber. This potato plant. There is a cucumber growing right down on that cucumber bush in there, but it'll take a while. It's overcrowded by this other stuff. You can see that zucchini right there growing. This bush is amazing. Never got so many zucchinis off one bush. You can see what we're growing here. So this plant hadn't done anything, and now it's starting to. This cucumber bush looks like I trimmed a lot out of here. You can see a cucumber over there. It is still producing, but I'm hoping it comes back because I put some what do you call it? Bone meal and blood meal in there, but I also put some Epsom salt in there to try to get the greenness back in the plant. It looks like it's starting to come back, but tell when it's hot weather. Another cherry tree I picked dry today. This was a zucchini, but it's getting green again, but there's nothing in it so far coming back. Another yellow squash plant, and there must be doing pretty good over there. You'll see the melons. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them growing in there still. I picked one today. We're going to try it to end up seeing what it tastes like or how ripe it is, so I'll know. Green beans, another bell pepper, which I've already picked everything off of it. And that's a hot jalapeno peppers over there. So we'll just keep going and see how things go from here as we're moving through our garden. Gotta climb over this fence over here because I don't want to do it because all the grass all in there. It keeps the critters out of here most of the time. But keep it up. This is a gray zucchini plant. I cut one off here today, so there's nothing really on it. The zucchini and that stuff are starting to slow down now because some cucumbers because of the weather, and no matter how much you can overwater them. This is another zucchini. It's produced a little bit, but I'm waiting for it to come back. If you look down in here, you will see a, see if I can find it on the camera. Here it is. Another patty pan right there. There's a patty plant. Didn't know it. Peppers I took off here, the purple one. Cucumber plant. Not looking great, but I did. Starting to get yellow flowers back on it. Starting to green up on the bottom, but I cut a lot out of that. This is the English cucumbers, the long ones. I put 4 of those in that dish I cooked today, and as I cooked them, I actually sauteed them as hot cucumbers first, and my wife said it's really good. We got another cucumber plant here, another bean plant. Oh, I got to pick them. There's a lot of beans in there. You can see down where that rag is over there. That's and one rag up there. That is cantaloupe. It's going real good. You can see the 2 melons right side there that are going real good right now. And this is obviously another yellow squash, but you can see one coming up in there. The beans are kind of dormant now because I picked so many of them, but I'm sure they will kick back in when it gets a little cooler. Sweet potatoes are just going crazy. The big boy tomatoes are starting to come out of this bush over there. You can see that one red one way back in there. That is a yellow squash on top of red potatoes in that bucket. You can see that little eggplant right there. And I picked probably the biggest eggplant I've ever picked or grown today off of that bush. And wow, I just couldn't believe it. Never seen something that big. Of course, corn right here. Like I told you, I got back here. I'm 6'2", so it's at least 8'2". That's yellow cucumbers. They look like they were dying. I thinned it out like the other ones, and really seems to be coming back. And I got a lot of yellow cucumbers off there today. It's another eggplant's coming in, another plant. You can see these hot peppers growing right there off of that bush. Jalapenos. Down in here, this is another patty pan. You can see one growing down there. There's one in there. So, real healthy plant. But, oh, here's one. Look at that. I missed this altogether. There's another patty pan growing right down in there. Of course, we all see this. We all know what that is. That's melons. There's two of them. This bush I put in a little later if you look down here. I got a pretty big one growing down there. But I put this bush in late, so I'm hoping in the next 2-3 weeks they'll be to a point where I can start doing something with them. You can see that, you got yellow squash growing in there. This plant's coming back. This is the hot peppers, long hot peppers. That's a big boy of tomatoes there. That's more tomatoes. I can't think what you call them right now, but they're not the big boys, but they're the size away from them. A couple of dead leaves on here to get rid of. These in here are bells too, but you won't see any because I took all these bells off. Oh, there's one little purple one growing down in there, right down in there. So we'll let it keep going. You can see here, this is the yellow cucumbers in their beginning stage. They get to be about the size of a hard ball and yellow and prickly as shit. Crap, excuse me. And more hot peppers right here for my wife and my son because they love them. This is the yellow cucumber vine just going everywhere, and I took a ton off here today, and you can see some of the small ones I left on, like right there, but there's one right there. Probably 7 or 8 of them on there. Another cherry tomato, my grandson picked this one down for me today. Of course, we got some carrots grown in a bundle right there. So everything seems to be reacting better after my last bit of stuff, but we'll see how it goes from here. This bush was originally an acorn squash, but you can see stuff growing right there, and kind of looks like an acorn squash, but acorn squash normally don't take this long to come in, so I'm often wondering if it's some type of patty pan. I'll stand back and you can see the corn here. If I go back, it's just mammoth. This stuff's 9 foot, 10 foot tall. But if you look in here at the ears, see how they're still a little narrow. So first year trying to do this much corn out of buckets and see how it goes, but we'll keep monitoring it. And you can see those bell peppers back on that bell pepper plant in there in the center. I didn't see those today, so there's 5 or 6 in there I'll have to get next time out. Of course, another patty pan, one of my favorites to grow when they grow. And I just took 2 big ones off here yesterday in my harvest, so we will just have to see how much more it's going to go. We should get a couple more off here by the end of the year. Of course, we got green beans all down inside of there, which I did not prune yet. You can see this tomato bush here is just so heavy. It's just leaning over into this cucumber bush here, and I got some good cucumbers off this one today, even though it looks kind of crappy. I did not thin this one. I did treat it, but I didn't thin this one yet, so that's something I have to do in the next couple days, thin this out. But I got some real good cucumbers out of there today. I got 2 big barrels of sweet potatoes. But as we've spoken before, all these sweet potatoes, the Yukons, the red boys, the purple Peruvian potatoes, all these I won't pull out here till end of September, early October, to give them enough time to really produce the way I want them to. If I come around this size, you will see that right there the cantaloupes growing. So they're still there, they're slow growers. Another picture from that side of those melons over there. Back here, let's see if while I'm here, let's see, I picked this, well, you can just see one here, how they grow on here. There's 3 or 4 or 5, it's all green beans, and they're huge. But I already picked it once, that's what I was trying to hold off, but I'm gonna have to pick it soon. There's another melon, and you can see I got the other ones hanging by rags because the weight's too high for them to support. You see the green coming up out of this plant. I gotta trim this one back too, because I've got to get rid of the old stuff and let the new stuff come out, and then she'll start putting out. There's one right there. Well, that's a flower, sorry. It'll start putting out some yellow squash again too. So that's a very tough transition time right now. Not as hot as it's been. Normally this time of year it's anywhere from 90 to 100 and abysmal. It is humid out. It is hot, but it's not the killer hot. So while I'm here, looky there. Hold on. They're all hiding underneath the bottom here. Let me see something here. Let's see if we got a look at that. They ain't the perfect ones, but I found two of them hiding under that bush. Right there, the leaves are dried on because they've been watered so much. These tomatoes, when they first come out, will always hide underneath. There's got to be 100 tomatoes on that thing right there. So, but it's got so much weight, I let it lay against stuff for now. And there's some more bell peppers right there. So that's it for today. Getting out of July now, getting into August. I'll be planting my fall garden soon, which will be lettuces, cauliflower, broccoli, and stuff like that again, which is good for cold weather. I got to put that in probably this weekend, get them started, and then I'll use some of these containers as they get aged up here over time, over the next month and a half, where I have to pull things out, and I'll be able to put my lettuces and certain stuff in. I put, like in the spring, I can put in the fall. That'll still grow here. It has enough time. And that's about it for tonight. So get a chance, go out and look at my Instagram page for Jeff's gardening tips, and Facebook is out there, and I'm also out on YouTube under Jeff's gardening tips, and go out and look at the videos, and hopefully they help you. And if you need any advice, please call me, and just like and subscribe. Thank you.